Hi, I'm the Smoking Elk, and today we are cooking a juicy leg of pork with juicy crackling on the Kamado Joe Joetisserie. So today we are cooking this joint of pork. It's a pork leg or joint of pork leg, and the whole idea of this video today is to show you how to set up the Kamado Joe with the Joetisserie. What temperature to set it up, how to set up the firebox, how to achieve the right temperature so we can turn this skin into gorgeous juicy pork crackling. We're not going to do anything fancy to the pork. All we have done with this is dry it, salt it, get the salt in all the nooks and crannies and all those little score marks, and then we put it in the fridge overnight uncovered, and we're left with nice dry skin. We've not had to dry it since it come out of the fridge. So there really is no secret to crackling, but you need to start with really dry skin if possible. We're not going to do anything fancy to this pork, just the salt on the skin. I'm not showing you any fancy recipe. I'm literally want to show you how we get crackling on the Kamado Joe Joetisserie. A lot of people have asked. I mean, this is my easy go-to recipe. I do normally like to put, maybe mix up some bay leaves, crushed bay leaves with some paprika, fennel seeds, some salt and pepper, and rub that in, maybe with some herbs. We're not going to do that today. Like I said, it's just salt. I want to show you how to achieve nice crispy skin. This is the basic way of doing it. Once you've nailed it this way, you can then go ahead and make it your own. So let's crack on. So I'm going to show you how we're going to set up the Kamado Joe Big Joe for using the Joetisserie. As you can see, we've got some unburnt coals left from the last cook. So what we're going to do is take out the basket. This is a kick ash basket. The new Kamado Joe 3 series does come with a basket as well. If you don't have a basket, then obviously just rake the coals through the bottom charcoal grate. So all we do is we're going to shake out any bits that we don't want, because we're going to reuse these. So we're going to empty out the ash straw. Using the Joetisserie, I like to keep the ash pan out, just for better airflow. We're going to bank these coals to the back of the basket. Going to try something a little bit different today. We've got some cider apple chunks, and what we're going to do is we're going to use these to bank the coals, and the hope is that these will catch slightly and give that lovely apple smoky flavour to the pork. I've seen this done on Weber kettles where a chunk of wood is used to divide the coals, so we're going to give that a go. So let's show you how we're going to set up the firebox. So as you can see, not bothered about the coals from the last cook. Get them on the top. All the little bits will act as your kindling type coals, shall we say. Okay, apple cider logs are going to be the barrier. Fire below the logs. Like I said, this is a bit of an experiment for me. I've not tried it before. Other people have tried it with good success on Weber kettles and other kettles. Your wood acts as a barrier for the coals, but also gives off a nice smoky aroma, and that equals flavour. So that's how we're going to set up the coals. We want nice perfect crackling. We want nice perfect dry crispy skin. I'm going to light the fire in 3 little places, so we've got 3 nice little fires, nice even fire along the back there, because I don't want the middle to start charring the skin or the crackling. I want it to be even all over. So this is just how I like to do it. So we've got one in the middle, one on the left, and then a small one to the right. 3 small fires going along the back. So we're going to get a nice even cook on the pork, on the skin, hoping for a nice juicy crackling. So let's crack on and show you how we're going to set up the Joetisserie. Side shelves down. Let's put the Joetisserie in place, like so. Motor on, and then just a quick tip, measure where the centre of the rod is once it's in the motor. So we're going to want the pork around about there, in between that gap. So keeping hold of this, we're now going to go and skewer the pork. Lid down. Let's bring this up to temperature. Top vent open, bottom vent's open. Bring it slowly up to temperature, and then we're going to start spinning this pork. Just a quick one on a question that comes up quite often. There is no latch when you're using the Joetisserie. The lid will just sit on the rotisserie ring, so you will get some smoke leakage, but you just adjust your vents accordingly. Once you're dialed in on the temperature, it really shouldn't fluctuate too much. So like I said, lid will just sit flush onto the Joetisserie. So we've marked where the centre, where the meat needs to sit on the rotisserie rod. All we do is put one of the forks down to the position that we marked earlier and tighten that up, and then we're going to go through the centre as much as you can judge by eye. Just give that a twist and push that all the way through till it comes out the other end, like so. And then we're just going to secure that onto the spit with the forks. So there we go, that is nice and secure. And the same with the other end, just get it on there, secure. It's just to hold it in place. You don't need the prongs to go through the meat. We just want to make sure that that's going to be nice and secure and held into place. And again, as tightly as you can, and that's it, ready to see some smoke. We're at 400 Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius. Gonna go ahead, pop the pork in, got a good fire on the go. All that's left, flip the switch, and away we spin. So we're dialed in about 180 now, which is fine. We don't want it too high. We started about 200 and we brought the temperature down slightly. And then at the end, if we haven't got the crackling that we want, we can always increase the temperature. So here's how we're looking. Only been about half an hour. And what I like to do is keep the skin dry. So that may seem counterintuitive. You may think that you want the fat on there. Hot fat obviously is going to help it crisp up. And that may well be the case for other methods, but, and I've learnt this when cooking suckling pig. I had nice glass like skin, and the secret to that was just to keep the skin nice and dry. So any moisture on there, just give it a wipe and get that lid back down. So while the pork's spinning and the grill's nice and hot, I'm going to put a pan in there because we're going to make roast potatoes. So just a pan with some goose fat. Get that fat nice and hot. And again, just wipe away any excess fat and moisture from the skin, because we want that to crisp up. You can see just starting to blister, which is great. Keep it dry, keep it spinning. Happy days. So just over the hour mark, quick update how we're doing. We had a beautiful colour on that pork. Absolutely great colour on the skin. Starting to blister nicely. And like I said, just keep it dry. The apple wood, the side wood has caught on fire, but you might think that it might produce an acrid smoke. It's not. Plenty of oxygen get into it, and it's a nice clean smoke. Dry skin, get out of carry on spinning and dry it again in another 15-20. While we're here, we might as well get some roasties in, get them into that goose fat. That's the sizzle you want to hear. Get them all a good coating of that fat. Lovely jubbly. Quick internal temperature check. We're at 62, 63. This is exactly how I like my pork. So we are good to go. Looking good. Crackling test. You can hear that. We have some good crackling. And there it is, really nice and simple. We've got crispy, crunchy, crackling. I mean, if you can hear that, that's what you're looking for. Nice blistering. I think we need to dig in and have a taste. First off, let's have that little bit, shall we? We're good. So we cook this to 63 degrees. Old school temperature, they'd always tell you to cook it to 73, 75 degrees. You don't need to do that anymore with the way pork is raised. 63 degrees for nice juicy succulent pork. So let's slice in and let's take a look. Let's get that string out of the way. You can hear that crackling, crunching away. And just look at how juicy that pork is there. Absolutely beautiful. We've also done the roasties in the Big Joe alongside the pork. So now it's time to have a taste. My favourite part. So slice a bit of this pork with the crackling. Let's get a bit of salt on one of these potatoes. Roasty, crunchy, soft, delicious, and the pork with the crackling. Seriously, that in my eyes is pure pork perfection. Absolute winner. Thanks for watching again. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Hope you find it useful. I hope you go away and make crackling as good as it should be. Please hit subscribe and I'll see you again next week.